ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Andrew, here, and with me, as always, is my boy, my co host.
Was good.
Who are you? Let the people know.
Listen. My identity. I'm Batman. No, I'm joking. It's Zach, co-host of the NitPickCentral podcast. I wear that as a badge of honor. Andrew, what are we talking about today? What do we got on the docket?
Today we're doing something a little different. You know, we've talked about some pop culture stuff, and you know, as we do best here, we talk about movies and TV shows and things that we're watching. But we're gonna flip the script a little bit today, y'all. And we're gonna go over things that we're listening to. And you know, that's something that we have on our socials and, you know, obviously in our descriptions a lot. You know, we deal with movies, TV, music, and video games, just pop culture in general, you know what I mean? But we haven't really touched the music side of things yet, and I figured today would be a good day for us to do that now. And I figured a good way for us to kind of get into this field would be just something simple, you know, just a nice little conversation about, for at least today, my top 5 albums, in my opinion, you know, like, or not in my opinion, but like my top 5, like my personal top 5 albums, you know what I mean?
Okay. Oh yeah.
And so at the moment, these are in no particular order. I'm just going off of a list that I whipped up here of albums that I know that A, mean a lot to me in some way. B, I've spun a lot in my time since they've come out. C, are still in my rotation, whether it's a couple songs or pretty much the whole album. You know what I mean? Like if there's a song on or from one of these albums that I still go back to, it definitely factored in. And 4, it's just an album that I feel like not only is it good in my opinion, but I feel like almost objectively, it's just a good piece of art in general. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, like I said, this is in no particular order, but starting off here, and I feel like you're going to agree with this here, but I have to go with After Hours by The Weeknd.
Yes.
This album, dude, it still blows my mind that this album never got a Grammy nomination back in 2021 for the 2020 Grammys. Like, the Grammys needed The Weeknd more than The Weeknd needs the Grammys, even to this day. Like, it's actually insane. Like, I mean, especially with the rest of the music that was coming out in 2020. I mean, obviously I can't remember a lot of it because, to be honest, a lot of it was forgettable, ironically enough. But this album, After Hours, is just such a exploration of just a bad person. And, like, you know, is an exploration of someone just dealing with things like love and relationships and the demons that come with that, both demons that come out of yourself and demons that you end up having to fight through someone else, you know what I mean, depending on the kind of dynamic that you have. And, you know, as a fan of The Weeknd yourself, I mean, you know that this man has a beautiful voice and his ear for production is out of this world good.
It's insane. Yeah,
and I feel like the biggest turning point for The Weeknd definitely was After Hours, because, you know, he kind of dipped his toes into that poppy kind of more synth-based sound leading up to After Hours, you know, with things like Can't Feel My Face, In the Night from what's that album? Beauty Behind the Madness.
There you go. Yeah.
And then of course there is the whole album Starboy, which was basically like his victory run from popping off in 2015 and 2014. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I feel like he just stayed in the studio and cooked up, and I mean he's obviously After Hours is part of a trilogy of albums, right? And as much as I love Dawn FM and as much as I love Hurry Up Tomorrow, like I feel like if we're just strictly talking about the music of the 3 albums, honestly, depending on the day, I might say Hurry Up Tomorrow is the better album, but today, now that I'm thinking about it, it's definitely After Hours for me, because I feel like this album has the luxury of being out for longer. You know what I mean? It's been out since 2020, like March of 2020, so like pretty much right as the world changed. And that kind of harkens back to the episode we just recorded not too long ago about that same conversation. But this album, again, was just a big turning point for the world, for me, and for the artist himself, The Weeknd, because of the 80s synth-based sounds that he adopted and honestly ran with. Because, I mean, as well as I do, Blinding Lights took over the world when that song dropped.
For a while, too, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, can you remember a time back when, like, this album first came out and you first heard Blinding Lights?
I can, actually. Somebody beat me to the punch before it came out, because I remember you telling me that the album came out.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a chance to, like, listen to it.
Yeah.
And I forgot who exactly it was, but it was just a coworker at work. We had the radio playing while we were cleaning up and closing up for the night. And he's like, dude, let me put you on to something real quick. And I was like, okay. And he tried to hype it up, too. He's like, you like The Weeknd, right? I was like, yes. And in my head, I was like, he's going to play something that I'm sure I've heard 1,000 times already.
Yep.
And then he's like, well, have you listened to this? And all you hear is that weird, like, wow, whenever the song first opens. And I was like, I don't think I have heard this before. What is this? And I was silent for the duration of the entire song. And then when it ended, I was like, man, that was pretty good. But I didn't admit it. I was like, yeah, I think I've heard better songs. And then I think it was that night driving home, I bumped it again on the way home.
Yeah.
And then I bumped it again the morning after, and I think it was on constant rotation for like a week straight. I was just like, man, that's a banger song, because it's just so synthy and poppy, and it's very catchy.
Yes, extremely catchy.
I forgot when it happened, but I think it happened the same year. Me and you were talking, and it charted #1, and it stayed there for what, a couple years?
Yeah, I mean, it was at least in the top 100 albums. I think it still is to this day since it dropped. Like, it's just one of those that has stayed just as popular as it always has been. I mean, obviously, it's not like the top 10 songs anymore, or there's not a song on here. I mean, Blinding Lights by itself, I think that song was #1 for like 18 or 19 weeks, something like that. Like something absolutely absurd.
Something crazy.
Broke countless records. And yeah, like, I mean, they're not only Blinding Lights, but I mean, stuff like Alone Again, Escape from LA, Heartless,
that
Phase,
one's
like In Your Eyes, Save Your Tears, Repeat After Me, the song After Hours. I mean, at this point, I'm just listing the album because like every song is just so good. You know what I mean? It is one of the most consistently strong albums I've ever heard, and that's another reason why it had to make my list today.
Okay.
So there's that. And here's another one here that I think you'll relate to, but I don't think you might not have as strong of a connection to it as I do.
Okay, hit me.
But for this one, I gotta go with Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I definitely don't have as prominent of a connection as you do, but I have listened to this album before.
Yes.
And it is a banger.
Yes, it's so good. Like, and this is coming from someone who's not really that big of a Lil Yachty fan. I mean, of course, I've heard One Night, I've heard Broccoli, and of course, who hasn't heard I Spy with freaking Kyle? That song ran 2016 and 2017 for the most part, back when we were in high school. But yeah, like in 2023, this dropped in January of 2023, almost February. I had no expectations going into it. Like, leading up to this, Lil Yachty was dropping nothing but mid, in my opinion. And again, I just wasn't on that wave. But I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know what he smoked or who he was riding around with. I mean, I know he's kind of cool with Drake nowadays, but whatever the case might have been, this album is phenomenal and is his best work by far, because he ditches the normal like trap rap, like bubblegum rap, and just like your standard typical street music for kind of like Pink Floyd inspired like psychedelic rock music, and it is just candy for the ears, dude. Like anytime I put any song on from this album, it just feels like I'm just transported to a world that it sounds familiar because I've heard this album before at this point, but I don't know, it just takes me to somewhere else, and I love that feeling. And I mean, just these songs are just so well crafted and well structured, especially the first song, The Black Seminole. It's it's like what, a 7 or 8 minute long
beefy song.
Yeah. And like the first like 3 or 4 minutes are kind of like that more like kind of low-key, trip me atmospheric vibe. But then it goes into like the more hard-hitting like rock section, and then I forgot exactly who's the singer is, but I mean, she just absolutely goes insane towards like the back half of this song, and you're like, this is on a Lil Yachty album? Like what? Like I mean, and obviously, that's more on the vocalist versus Lil Yachty, but I mean, like, he put the actions and the things in motion for that to happen, you know what I mean? So I gotta give him some credit.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like it is just a great song in and of itself, and like something that I appreciate as time goes on is like purposeful album sequencing when it comes to like what song comes after another. And this album does a beautiful job of just blending the songs together and like having just not only just super nice and seamless and just very satisfying transitions, but just with how the album flows, like it just makes sense. Like, I mean, you have things that hit hard and are like really bombastic and big epic sounding songs, like, I mean, starting off with like the Black Seminole, and then you go for a few songs, it's kind of like a more of a vibey sort of thing with like The Ride, Running Out of Time, and Pretty, but then it goes into like a little bit of an interlude after Pretty, and I think at the end of Pretty there's like a bit of like a flowery kind of transition that goes into Failure, the interlude, and then the Failure goes into The Zone, and then pretty much from there all the way through to like Should I Be, which, I mean, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah,
it's almost
6
the whole
songs.
album.
A whole 6-song stretch where it's just nothing but like dark, atmospheric, chill vibes. And if you know me, that is literally me to a T. Like, love, like this middle section of the album is like one of my favorite stretches of songs ever, as far as I'm concerned. So, and like I said, the album is just filled with beautiful production. Lil Yachty was experimenting a lot with his vocals and how they sound too, and putting certain effects on stuff like that. And, you got to see a little bit of that with his song Poland. I don't know if you've heard that. I took the walk to Poland. I just butchered it right there, but, he just...
I mean, it's so catchy though, because I remember both of us were saying that for a while when it came out.
Exactly. And like just like the warbliness he would put on his vocals, like it just made it that much more entertaining and that much more ear catching.
Oh yeah.
But to move on from there, this next album that I have, again, it's one that came out kind of whenever I was like 16, and again, like kind of throwing it back to our glory days, I guess you could say. But this one is a landmark album, not only for me, but I feel like for the artist in question here. but this is Views by Drake.
Ooh, okay.
Again,
you've been low-key been putting me on some Drake here lately.
Dude, I'm
especially with
telling you,
that one song that you dropped not too long ago. What was the one that we put in the group chat the other day? And you're like, you've got to listen to this.
I think it was Whisper My Name from Iceman.
No, it was Furthest Thing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what it was. Furthest Thing from Nothing Was the Same.
Oh my god. I'm not much... So, anybody listening to this, I have never really been that big of a Drake fan. Like, I'll dabble with some Drake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have anything against him. I think his songs are great. It's just I'm not a giant Drake fan. But this man here has been putting me on to nothing but banger after banger after banger from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I've been contemplating why I didn't like his music to start with.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I mean, if you were growing up, like, listening to him, you would have no idea. But, like, at least for me, like, getting into his music after the fact, kind of around, like, 2015, 2016, especially when Views dropped, I used to watch Guy Code on MTV a lot, and they would literally have so many Drake jokes, because they would be like, oh man, he's gonna be crying in the corner like Drake, or you're going to the club listening to some Drake, and maybe you got the ladies over there crying in the corner or something like that. And like, everyone just thought, like, if you listen to Drake, you were just either pretentious or depressed. it was crazy. But I mean, like, that's like the I guess, like, the layman's terms, or like the not like in the know crowd vibe, you know what I mean? But like, whenever you really like stop and listen to this man's albums, especially his older work, like if we're talking like Nothing Was the Same, Take Care, if you're reading this, It's Too Late, Views, all of these albums have so much quality modern rap that it's insane to me that this is the same man that's dropped something like Her Loss, or that's dropped something like For All the Dogs, because to me those albums are huge steps down compared to even something like Views. And I'm just gonna rattle off a few songs off of here that you may or may not know, but I mean, they were just massive back when they first came out. So we're gonna start off strong here. One Dance.
Oh,
he's like, I need a one dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely know that one. Okay.
Yeah, One Dance. Controlla. That one's kind of the same, like, kind of summery Caribbean vibe.
Yeah.
There's that, and there's Hotline Bling. I know you know that.
Everybody knows that one. Oh,
Hotline Bling. I mean, that and One Dance just took over the world back in like 2016 when they first dropped, bro. Like, it was insane. And then of course you got like Pop Style, Too Good with Rihanna, Redemption, With You with Party Next Door. Like, these are some like top tier R&B cuts from Drake. Like, when this dude tries, he makes some of the best music. And like, when I say tries, like, when it comes to his rapping, like, whenever he like really like puts his foot on the gas and he actually makes some like good quality raps, you can tell. And whenever he's like really trying to put his soul into something and like really put his heart into a track on like an R&B cut, you can tell. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I haven't even listened to some Sexy Songs for You. Like, that's his like joint album that he has with Party Next Door, and they have a lot of collaborative R&B songs that they've made over the past like 10-15 years. But I heard that album was kind of okay, and again, it just lacked the sauce and just lacked the spirit that old R&B Drake does, and that old Drake does to begin with, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
for me, we're recording this after Iceman has dropped, and Habibti and Maid of Honor, those are the kind of follow-up albums that he dropped along with Iceman. I enjoyed Iceman enough. I mean, I don't think it's perfect, but I also think it is the best Drake music that we've gotten in probably like 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. I'm not trying to meme. And there's that. but then like, stuff like Habibti, that's kind of like the more R&B centered album, and that one was, I mean, to me, I liked it, but again, it's not his best. Like, is it music that I'm going to be listening to? Yes. But is it music that I'm going to be listening to even a year from now? Maybe not. You know what I mean? But like with some of these other songs, I mean, this album is 10 years old, and there's still songs that sound like they just came out just a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this album again is just one of those that I bumped a lot when it first came out, and it's kind of the album that acted as my entryway for getting into like actually like taking a deep dive into Drake's music. Like I said, when this man tries, you can tell, and it's great. But this next one though, this one also has a special place in my heart because of when it came out and kind of the vibe that I was on at the time. But this is Damn by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh. That's a good album right there.
Yes, like from beginning to end, and like I don't know if you knew, but like there's like an interwoven story. I mean, that's how Kendrick Lamar does a lot of his albums. He tries to weave in a story as he's creating it, right?
Yeah.
Well, fun fact: if you listen to Damn from front to back, like if you start with Blood and end on Duckworth, that tells a story. But then if you listen to it in reverse, so you go from Duckworth to Blood, that tells the same story, but with some certain twists because of where certain songs land in the track list, if that makes sense. And there's actually a alternate version of Damn that has the track list flipped, like how I just said. So there's literally two different versions of the same album. It's just that the track list is literally in reverse because it tells just a slightly different story.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that alone I think is super impressive. This album I feel like is also just very accessible because this came out in 2017. This was after he dropped like To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, those albums are giants in and of themselves. Don't want to take anything away from them, but this album, I mean, you have absolutely huge hits. Like, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Humble. Everyone was listening to Humble when it first dropped, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's that. There's Love with Zachary. There's Element, DNA, Feel, Loyalty with Rihanna. Like, I mean, Fear is one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs ever, and probably one of my favorite rap songs ever. It's literally a song where Kendrick raps about him, where he was at when he was 7 years old. And then in another verse, he talks about him and where he was at when he was 17 years old. And then he talks about in the last verse, him and where he was at when he was 27 years old. So like, again, like, it's just the storytelling that Kendrick Lamar can provide. Like, it is just next level. I mean, there's a reason why college professors and college courses literally take his music as examples for people to study, because his music is just that good and that deep. And Damn continues on with that trajectory again with the storytelling and just the quality of the music and the production here. Again, I think it's the most accessible it's been when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, so it doesn't really push the envelope in that sense. But again, like, I mean, this is just some of the most catchy and some of the most hard-hitting music that he's ever put out. And while I've loved stuff like GNX and what was that? Oh, it's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I think he still has not surpassed what he did with Damn. Like, this album was just so good, and again, I thought it was just very deserving of this spot.
Okay.
And to wrap it up here, I got one more, and granted, I'll go ahead and say this might have some recency bias on here, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
But with how much I've spun it already and how much I feel like it's grown on me already, there's a lot of songs that I am definitely going to be coming back to, even probably just by tomorrow, let alone for a good long while. But it's got to be The Fall Off by J. Cole.
Oh, I remember seeing your post about this.
Yes.
Not too long ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you've been keeping up with our content here in 2026, especially earlier in 2026, this was one of the albums that I promoted right off rip, and this was one of the albums that, again, just really spoke to me as a rap fan. And again, I kind of got put onto J. Cole's music pretty much around the same time as like Kendrick Lamar and Drake and Denzel Curry and Kanye, all that kind of stuff. But this album here, The Fall Off, in 2026, I think is still the best rap album, but also, I think so far from what I've heard at least, just the best album that I've heard this year. Like,
wow.
There are just so many great songs on here. Like, if you're talking about Safety, Run a Train, Legacy is a personal favorite of mine just because I love the outro where, he's kind of getting into more of his singing bag, and, just the vocals are heavenly, the production is going crazy. Love that. There's a song on here that's called Who the Fuck Is You, and it has one of the hardest beat switches ever, and just the energy. I mean, he has good energy in the first half of the song, but once that beat switch happens and that second like hard hitting beat comes in and it just slaps you in the face, oh my god, dude. Like, the stank face that I have on when this song plays and that second half hits, oh, I'm gone. I'm literally just vibing to the song until it's over. But then you have other songs where it's like Bombs in the Ville, Hit the Gas, where it's a lot more of a melodic J. Cole cut, and it's a little bit more along that trap along that trap sound, but he does it in his own way, and it still sounds just so good. And then there's the second half of this album, because it's actually a double album. Both sides are 12 songs long, so it's 24 songs in total. It's a bit of a listen, but I've probably at least have listened to this album in full at least like 10, 12 times already since it dropped.
Oh, shit.
Like, no joke. And like, at least for the first week, and I know I'm not alone in this, but when the first like 2 weeks or so, whenever it came out, this album only got better as time went on. Like, even to the songs that I wasn't really vibing with, I was just like, man, like, this is just a great song. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's not one that I'm going back to a whole lot, and it's not one that's not in my playlist, if I'm listening to it within the context of the album, it still sounds great, and I don't feel like it's a waste of my time.
Okay.
And some notable songs off of this last half here is like The Fall Off is Inevitable. The blow switches on there are absolutely sick. The Villist with Erykah Badu, that is one of my favorite songs of the year so far. I just love the sample that he uses, and the hook, I think, is simple, but it's so inspiring and so sweet at the same time. He's literally saying like, here, let me just pull it up so I don't butcher it here. But it's just one of those things, like, I feel like that's the heart of J. Cole's music, is like he just knows how to get into your feels and just, again, kind of like Kendrick Lamar, tell you a story, but for some reason it just hits different whenever it's coming from J. Cole, and it just feels a lot more real, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the hook here in The Villist, he says, I got something I want to tell you, dreams can come true, you'll get yours too, but it won't save you. Like, I got something, and then he just kind of repeats that over and over again, and I just think that's such a great lesson and a great mantra for someone to hold on to and to have. So there's that, and then there's something like I Love Her Again, where it's literally J. Cole talking about his come up in relationship with rap as a genre, but he's trying to relate it and have like be a metaphor for his relationship with a woman. And that concept alone, I think, is just brilliant, and he put it in song form. And again, I think it was executed perfectly, and the song is just freaking, it slaps. Like if you're in the car, bro, like it's a great song to put on. But yeah, like this album, I mean, this album was just an album that came at the perfect time. Again, it's grown on me with each listen, and I love it more and more somehow with each listen. But yeah, I think that rounds up my top 5 albums. Again, just to run through them real quick, we got After Hours by The Weeknd, we got Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty, we got Views by Drake, we got Damn by Kendrick Lamar, and we have The Fall Off by J. Cole. And I know I'm probably going to get some flack for some people saying like, oh, you know, these are more like recent albums, recency bias, da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not Anthony Fantano out here, the internet's busiest music nerd. You know, that's not me. You know, I'm just a fan of the music, okay? Like, give me a break. But yeah, like, I'm sure if I really thought it out, I could have a little bit more of a diverse list. But at the end of the day, this is just what I was feeling. So this is what you all got. But Dak, did you have anything? I was
gonna say, I dig the list. I've listened to music off of each of those albums before, and I gotta say, every song that I've listened off of each of those, bangers. I've never listened to each album from beginning to end, all the way through, but I have definitely dabbled with a handful of songs off of those albums, and I mean, shit, heat off of all of those. But
absolutely,
I to stick up for Andrew here, I do understand the flack that you're probably gonna get for some of those, but I mean, this is Nitpick Central. We do what we want.
Exactly. I mean, and at the end of the day, these are albums that I like. So if someone has a problem with that, then like,
bummer.
That's on you more than it is me. Oh, you hate my opinion? I hate that you hate my opinion. So now we're
shucks. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's just about it for this episode here of Chatting It Up. We're just going over some music that I like. Next time we talk about some music, we're going to throw the attention over to Zach, and he's going to let us know the tunes and songs that are keeping him going here. So, but yeah, Zach, if you don't have anything else to add, I think we're going to call it there.
All right.
Thank you all so much for tuning into yet another episode of Nitpick Central. Be sure to tune into the rest of our content, movie reviews, Chatting It Ups, retrospectives, anything and everything Nitpick Central. You can find it on things like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Letterboxd. We're on everything. Be sure to follow us there at Nitpick Central, and we'll be glad to have you. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.